Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service.
Hi everyone and welcome to episode 447 Aussie Tech Heads. I'm back. Yes, I missed you last week. What happened? I don't know, but I left you in the hands of the ever-faithful two greatest podcasters in the world. So thanks, guys, for standing in last week and doing the show without us. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're brought to you every week by athwebhosting.com.au, where you can go to that site and find some nice little website hosting, register your domain, and do all the tricky stuff that all the little web dudes get into and start learning WordPress and all that sort of stuff. And this week, a special shout out to Jeremy and all the guys at the Velvet Systems Management IT Company. So they're in Brizzy. Now, if you have a business network and you're getting snowed under with the management of it and you're finding it hard, it's a chore, or you might have let your IT guy go, give these guys a call. They manage your business network servers. They also do printer hire and AV hire. Located in Brisbane, but have customers all around the world. Go to their website, velvetsystems.com.au, and tell them that Aussie Tech Head sent you. They'll like that. Cool, good stuff. All right, what have we been up to? Let's introduce who we've got on the show tonight, and one of the greatest podcasters in the world, Will. Hey, Will, how you doing?
Hey, mate. Also the best streamer in the world.
You are. You are streaming with us tonight. Or you're streaming for us tonight. So if you still got your free phone.
Yep.
I can just imagine your bill. You're going to get that. You're going to get it.
$25,000 bill or something.
Yeah, and you will be crying in your little...
Then he just goes on a current affair and says, boo-hoo, and they go...
Yeah, they shafted me. There's no possible way I could use 100 gig in a month on a phone.
100 gig in one night. Uploading. Must be something wrong.
All right. Exactly.
And the other greatest podcaster in the world, Jace. How you going?
Hey, how is it, Glenn?
Not too bad, thanks. Now, give us a rundown on what you've been up to and what's going on. Have we got an Old Fart Geek coming out soon, Obsidian Loft coming out soon?
We should have farts coming out sometime in the next few days.
And a podcast to follow.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, as long as that's the only thing that follows, we'll all be happy.
I got to tell Pocky's head out.
All right. Okay. So how's the new job going, Jace? Liking it?
Great. Yeah, loving it there. Getting all into the more technical side of servers. Today I spent most of the day configuring WhatsApp Gold. You probably know about that one.
Never heard of it.
What?
I've heard of WhatsApp Doc, but...
WhatsApp Gold monitors your servers with pings and connects to the DNS service and whatever you're running on there and sends alerts when things are going down.
Right, and who's the poor person that's got it receives the alerts? You.
Oh, Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter.
And do they come to your phone? Is that how that works? Like SMSs?
No, they go to my mailbox plus the alerts mailbox that we've got set up. But I have it set up so that if there's something down for 5 minutes, it goes to the special alerts mailbox. If it's 20 minutes, it goes to me as well, just to make sure somebody's on top of it. We're just testing it out and fine-tuning it at the moment before we go full hard with it. But we've had it there for a while, and it's about time somebody took charge of it, so that's me.
Good work. Good stuff. Now, look, just to get into some emails. Got a couple for the week, but this one in particular I thought we'd pull out. It's from Darren. He's got a question. So we do questions every now and then.
We don't do answers, we do questions.
We do questions, we'll read them out. No guarantee of an answer. So I'll read it as he's written it, save me changing eyes for him and all that sort of stuff. I was currently back my word. Well, I might have to correct the grammar a little bit. I currently oh no, that's right. I read it wrong. Sorry. I currently back my work NAS drive up simply over an external hard drive. It's running about 200 gig of data, and I want to use an automated cloud system that I can set and forget. But every time I look into the backups, I get overwhelmed by what's available and resort back to the hard drive. Well, we're going to tell you what to do.
Amazon.
that is a not a bad thing. But
Okay, on to the next question.
so pretty much he just goes on. Worried about physical backups? Yes, aren't we all? What would you guys recommend? I'm on cable as well, so he gets 91 down, 2.5 up. Beautiful. Okay, so Amazon. Let's hear more about Amazon. What about the client software? Is there client software to help you get onto the Amazon cloud for automated backups?
That's right, yep. And then I think you just pay very little while it's there, and you just pay when you need to get it back, download it back again. That's when it costs you a bit. So
what have you got in your little brain? Any software that you could use to do that?
I expect Amazon would have the software once you've signed up. You would download it, install it in your computer, and then set what folders you want to back up to their cloud, and then that's it.
I don't know if Amazon does that. They possibly could do, but look,
S3.
Yes, and I think there's look, it might be a bit too much, that one for Darren, because look, I've got a bucket with Amazon S3. You've got to know if you go to the Glacier storage, it can take 3 hours to retrieve stuff, and it's about 3 cents per gig if you want an instant retrieval, or it's 1 cent on the Glacier. But look, that might be a little bit too complex. Look, my recommendation would be Crash Plan, which is good. Now, and I think, Will, you got Backblaze or something? What are you using?
At the moment, absolutely nothing, because it doesn't seem to matter what backup software I put on my computer, it crashes.
Your computer crashes.
But we were using Backblaze for ages, and then I got Crash Plan through a bulk discount through work because we use it at work. So I got an add-on use it at that. So I thought, I'll use Crash Plan. But so I was using that for not a problem for ages, and then all of a sudden now it doesn't matter what software I put on my computer. Like it seems to be a problem because I've got the rated hard drives for my video editing.
Right.
It turns out backup software, because it looks at the drive from a physical, like it physically sees 2 drives.
Right.
So when it tries to grab the data off the drive, it only tries to grab the data off one of the rated drives.
Why don't you build yourself a little server computer, put all your data on that, and then use your little RAID thing just in your editing PC?
Oh, I've got the NAS.
Yeah. But simplify, Will.
But what I'm saying is, I've got the NAS. The NAS backs up. But what I'm saying is, it's just something that's really obscure that I'm trying to figure out why, because it's just one of those things I'd like to know why it's doing. But yeah, I think there's something to watch out there because of that reason. No matter what backup software you're using, because I've tried Crash Plan, I've tried Backblaze, I've tried a couple of others, and they all seem to do the same thing. Once they hit those RAID drives, they just lock up. It's really weird. So just something to be wary of there. But yeah, Crash Plan for me worked better than Backblaze. Backblaze was good. It was cheaper. The biggest problem with Backblaze is the recovery side of it is tedious.
Right.
And if you decommission the computer officially, you go to the software from the computer, decommission it that way, it's fine. If your computer crashes and you have to do a reinstall, you can't simply take the backup file from this computer and assign it to your new computer, even though effectively it's exactly the same. All you've changed is, say, the Windows directory.
Right.
But your D drive might be the same, for example.
Yep.
You can't just do that. You've got to actually delete the entire backup and re-backup.
Well, I'll tell you, the Crash Plan gets around that. It's smart enough to know, if you've got the same data, that if you've changed machines, you've got the same data, then it checks up there and says, same.
Yeah, that's right.
So they don't go through the 3 months of upload again.
No, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Crash Plan, from that respect, is much better.
Now, another one just before the show, Shane texted me because he knew we were going to talk about this. You don't remember Shane? Yeah, that other guy that's on sometimes. The very casual part-timer. He's very casual, but he might be back next week. We'll see. We'll see how he goes. He's of course he's in Perth. He's got the time difference, and he's slogging it out.
I would have just stopped it because he's in Perth.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Enough said. Really.
Yeah. So he's gone in. He quite likes iDrive.com. I'm just quickly looking at the prices here. You got a 5 gig. Which is free, a personal 1 terabyte per year, $44.62. .com, just quickly, .com would suggest it's American, so maybe that's US dollars. So you want to check that out. I think Crash Plan's about the same. It might be at $7 Australian a month. But look,
I think if you get a multi-plan like we have, it's actually cheaper. I think we've got 5 computers, 2 work computers, 2 at home, and my in-laws' computer. I think it's $20 a month for the 5 of them, something like
Right. Yeah, so like the way you can only back up, say, with the personal plan, you can only back up one PC with the plan. But what I did was I just created another box. That's my server, which it's just a Windows 8 box, and then that's the box that backs up, so it can have 6 terabytes in it. But not that I back up all that much anyway. But yeah, look, for me, Crash Plan, you tick the boxes like Jace was saying with the Amazon. You tick the boxes with what you want backed up. Bob's your uncle. Way it goes. And then you can even, if you're at a different location or whatever, you want to restore it, you can log into the website of things, into Crash Plan, tick the boxes with what you want to download. It'll download to your local computer. Snap easy. I like it. I love it. Cool. I hope that answers everyone's question, Darren.
I only have a little bit of stuff to back up, so mine's around Dropbox and Google Drive and OneDrive.
Yeah, well, what's Google Drive?
I've got like 25 gigs of free space on OneDrive, so I never fill that up.
No, well, I think it's 25 gig on the Google Drive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 50. But if you got more than that, like I put photos and home movies and all that sort of stuff up there. That's what probably pretty much takes the bulk of my little terabyte.
Well, most of mine probably goes up automatically. All my videos, photos and stuff off my phone go straight up to Google Drive anyway.
Yeah, one of the guys I work with does that, but my problem is I'll take like a photo of the serial number on the back of the server at work, or I take a photo of this so I can remember it, and it's like, we've uploaded this to your photo stream, now everyone can see. It's like, I don't think they really care about looking at that.
No, well, I mean, mine's
or my daughter takes 50 photos of herself with crazy faces sitting in front of the phone.
My drive's set to private, so no one else can see it, but they go up.
I still don't want to back it up.
No, that's right. Yeah.
The only main reason I never used to, and the reason I turned mine on was because I started doing HDR photos. And a HDR photo can be in a raw format, can be 5 gig, 4 or 5 gig for one photo.
Yeah.
So
I mostly these days just take a photo, stick it on Facebook or Instagram, and go, that's it. I don't need to keep it backed up because that's where I wanted it to be and people can see it.
Well,
I never
exactly.
print them or look at them again. I've got a ton of them on Google Photos, which used to be Picasa. There's a ton of them there, but I never go back again. So,
yeah.
Actually, my old Picasa album uploaded itself the other day when I logged into one of my old phones. I logged into an older Google account. And then suddenly, it was all these photos. I'm like, where'd they come from? Oh, they're on this old account that I didn't think I ever used was full of photos.
Have you tried that Google Photos? The new thing.
That's it. Picasa is Google Photos now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yep,
They've just recently renamed it.
Yeah, they recently renamed it about a year and a half
ago.
No. There's another one. Google Photos, where it tags and everything.
Yeah, same place.
It
used to be Picasa, now they call it Google Photos.
Oh. So how does that work for you? All right.
Good.
Yeah, because I uploaded a couple of photos and it started auto tagging, and then notifying people. And I thought, well, I don't want people notified of photos I've put up, even if it is of them.
That's the one that they got in trouble for a couple of weeks ago because African Americans were uploading in it and marked them as gorillas.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes, but I just didn't want because then people ring you up and say, "What are you posting photos of me on the internet for?" Well, I'm not. It's just on my web album. But does it go public? I don't know. It goes on their Google the G Plus profile if they get automatically tagged. I don't know. So I sort of didn't like that part, so I haven't done it.
I want to see what the problem is because I really like the Gorillas. That's a great band, right?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, but the other thing that with the uploading of photos to Dropbox, when I first got my iPhone, I did that, clicked it on, never lose a photo again. But then it just gets so messy, doesn't it? You go, well...
it's too much crap there. Yeah, you have to spend time going through it all. It's like, too much trouble.
It is, because you've got photos up in Dropbox, then you go to take the photos off your phone, and you go, well, is all the stuff on the phone the same as in Dropbox? What happens if I missed a good photo? Jeez, one of the 2,000 you take a year. All right. Yep.
Okay. Just before we go any further, too, I have to apologise to the stream because I'm streaming tonight and I'm getting a feed from Skype. Because Glenn's computer's useless and can't handle Skype, about every minute or so it drops for about 10 seconds. So it's not my stream, it's actually Glenn's computer.
We just wait until we hear something again from him after about 10
We're so
seconds.
used to it now, we kind of adapt. So if you're wondering why it's cutting in and out, that's what it's doing.
The only time it's really bad for us is like Glenn will talk about something. He's like, so what do you guys use? And then he's like, hello, is anyone going to answer me? Like, sorry, we didn't get the last 10 seconds.
Well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why.
Every other show we do, we never have it, no matter how many people on it. It's just when you're on the show.
It's something with Glenn. I don't know.
But I've reformatted my machine.
He's special.
I've reformatted the machine. It's clean. It's only 3 weeks old.
It's just all the bugs and tags that the internet police have on your connection.
It could be. Well, I'm on cable. You guys are on ADSL.
Well, I'm on cable.
He's on cable.
You're on Optus.
Oh, well, actually, I'm on technically on 4G, but I'm on cable.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get into something that's going to break a lot of people's hearts. Not
I got one of them. If it's the same one I've got, then it's very sad.
I don't know. We'll try this one. I've got 2 stories, but 2 stories tonight, and probably Jason.
Are you just going to depress our listeners? Good on you.
We're going to depress right now. Gerry Harvey may finally get his way.
That's depressing. Yeah, that's not the one I had.
So Australia, I think I know the one you got. I might have that one as well. But anyway, Australia's state and federal leaders have agreed to, in principle, to expand the goods and services tax to include goods valued under $1,000 purchased online.
Is that the 15% one or the 10% one?
No, that's just expanding the goods and services to products under $1,000 bought online.
Which might go up to 15%.
It could well do, that's right. So in that case, yes. Such an approach was feasible, but progress has been held back because states and territory governments have not been able to agree on an approach on the issue. Oh, I've got a little photo. There you go. So I don't know. They're going to reduce the limit to $20.
We're not going to be competitive. We want to keep our profit margins extremely high. So to stop you buying it from other places so you can afford it, when we put the price up on absolutely everything to ridiculous levels just because of Gerry Harvey, we're going to also tax you on things that you get from overseas so that you have to go to... I don't think it's going to make people go, well, if I can't get it for the price I want, I'm going to go to Harvey Norman. They'll still get it from overseas if it's going to be around the same price.
Look, I think, and don't forget, we've also got the, for smaller objects, I suppose, you've got these places like Australia Post have got the address in America. And you can still buy GST free and get it freighted over. So if you bought something that's $1,000, the GST is going to be $100. You could probably get it sent to Australia Post in the US in their little depot over there. Probably get sent over 60. So you're still going to save 40.
People make a ton of money starting up businesses in America to buy 6 pairs of jeans and send it to people in Australia. Things like that.
I'll tell you a really good place to go that does something very similar. I'm just trying to find it now. I have used them a couple of times to bring things in, especially from the States. There's a place called AO3, so not A0, but AO3, the letter O.com.au. What they are is they're an independent contractor, effectively. So what you do is you say, hey, I want 1,000 of these, and you just randomly, I'll see if I'll show my screen quickly here. And you can see here, let's zoom in a little bit. So you can go down, you can select, there's so much stuff, like literally there's thousands and thousands. There's nearly 1 million products in their system. But the thing I got cheaply, I'll show you, let's go to Pile, LMNOP.
Mostly tech stuff, is it?
No, not, well, there's a lot of tech stuff, but not entirely, it's not all tech. So let's search for Pile. Oops, Pyle. It's very difficult to spell. And then what it does is it'll bring up a list of stuff that they have. And subwoofer, here we go. I don't know if I can find mine. But I got a sub from them, which I could only get from the States because they only make them in the States and nobody imports them over to here. I can't see it off the top of my head, so let's just pick one of these. So I want some of these. Okay, they're $232 Australian, including GST. So that's my landed price.
That's all right.
So these ones, if I was to buy on eBay, would be $300 because somebody else has already bought them and then bought them in and stuff like that. But because these guys are actually buying them directly from the manufacturer, they order it from the States. Their company is based in the States, and then their parent company ships it to their warehouse here. Then it gets drop shipped straight to you from the warehouse. So they've got au.com.co.uk, all that sort of stuff. So it's a really good way of getting stuff from overseas at a far reduced price because you're basically paying, whilst you are paying GST, you're not really...
I think there's other countries around the world anyway that say at the checkout, like on eBay, that they will charge. I think, doesn't England do that? Would they add the VAT on at the eBay checkout?
Yeah, but this seems for a lot of staff. I've done a fair bit of comparison, and I don't know why. I think it's because these guys get it directly from the source, so directly from HP or directly from wherever they're getting it from. They get a good buy price to start with. They add the most minuscule of margin on it, and then they ship it. And generally, their stuff is still cheaper. Like these Cisco IP phones, we actually got these for work. I got them from here at $305, including each. The cheapest I could find these anywhere in Australia was $650. The cheapest I could find them on eBay was $450.
Wow, but aren't you worried about the warranties and all that sort of stuff?
No, because they're legitimately purchased from that company.
Right.
All the warranties are carried over. They've been doing this since 1996.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just what they do is absolutely fascinating. The more I sort of use them, the more I want to use them to an extent.
Well, you better give us that webpage address then, Will.
AO3. So I don't know why it's a weird name. It's the letter A, the letters O, and the number 3.
It'll be in the show notes.
It's really obscure name for some reason, but
Will doesn't have show notes. Will's got brain notes. All right. Well, why?
Yeah, they're not sponsoring anything, but I bought half a dozen things off them, and yeah, I found it just to be it works.
Cool. All right, Jace, what's tickled your little fancy this week?
My sad story?
Yeah, why not? We'll start sad and hopefully happy up.
You probably know what it is. Digital downloads and the rapid growth of online retail have sounded the death knell for the ABC's national network of stores, pushing fans of Peppa Pig figurines and Doctor Who aprons online.
No.
Managing Director Mark Scott said the bedrock of the ABC store's book, CD and DVD retailing had changed fundamentally, and the 35-year-old chain could not trade profitably into the future. He said the ABC is not prepared to take money out of its broadcasting operation to fund an unprofitable retail venture. Up to 300 staff members will lose their jobs as the shutters come down on the network of 50 stores and 78 ABC centres within other retail outlets around Australia. It follows $254 million in funding cuts to the ABC budget, government, which has already resulted in the loss of more than 400 jobs of the broadcaster. The stores will close gradually, depending on the lease terms, but Mr. Scott said the ABC shops would most likely trade through Father's Day and even Christmas. In an interview with the ABC's AM program, he said the decision stopped what would be inevitable losses in the years to come. We're not going to take any money from broadcasting to prop up these stores. The ABC will instead focus on online sales of its books, DVDs, music and merchandising through the ABC shop online. They said they're going to try and do some deals with some other companies that have retail outlets and put ABC stuff in them. So
yeah, like McDonald's put their little Maccas in the servos, sort of thing.
Yeah, they could sell ABC stuff at McDonald's. That's right.
Yeah. Look.
I mean, look. Have you been to Aldi? They're loaded with Peppa Pig stuff. So it's
Why is everyone obsessed with Peppa Pig?
No. I went and bought a kilo of diced bacon the other day and put it in front of my nephew and said, "Here you go. It's a
Peppa
jigsaw puzzle. Put it back together."
Yeah, so look, it's no good like ABCs, but that's the way of the world, isn't it? Like, look, the main problem I see with prices of goods in Australia is just the rents that these shops have to pay. But see, it's such a complex machine, isn't it? Like, because if they don't pay so much in rent, then the owners, then it just carries on to the stocks and then the share prices and all this sort of stuff. It's just a very complex thing. But I know rents are just so extraordinarily high. And I think that's half the problem. But what do you do about it? The
other half is the government defunding the ABC. So.
Yeah, but you're not going to like there's 50 stores, so I don't think you're not going to just throw good money after bad, are you? If they're not profitable, like you got to sort of.
Well, they're not now because they're not getting the money for it. So.
well, that means they're not profitable anyway. If it was a handout, so you got to make something. Otherwise, the ABC...
You can give $9 billion to a profitable mining company, but you can't give a little bit to the ABC. I can see where you're going.
Yeah, but look, the ABC...
Nobody gets handouts except for mining.
No, well, the ABC shops don't have any potential to make the money, I suppose. The mining companies have jobs and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, let's get off that. What about my other sad story? I thought this.
You got another one. I thought that was the other one of yours.
No, I thought this is where.
Even worse.
I thought this is where you were going, actually. And
welcome to This Week in Depression.
Yeah, now this is a story that's hit mainstream, so probably everyone's heard about this. But the cheating website,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Ashley Madison.
Ashley Madison, that's right. I thought that
Wow.
might have been
Wow.
sad for some listeners.
That's hilarious. That's not sad unless you
know.
remember. In which case, sucked in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, it's not me. Well, hang on.
Yeah, so look, if you haven't heard, hackers have now this Ashley Madison website. It's if you want to have a fling, an affair.
See them advertised on TV all the time now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not right, eh?
After midnight.
That's not right.
Not even that late. I've got I just got TV shows that I record on the TiVo and I'm watching it. It's just a evening show and it's got Ashley Madison ads.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, maybe advertise yourself as come here for a good time, but
Spend the money on security instead of TV ads.
isn't this adulterous behaviour?
Yeah.
But that's not illegal, but it's
No.
immoral. Okay. Now, but anyway,
Sanctity of marriage, only being gay does that.
now the hackers have got into this website, and there's apparently 37 million records in there. The hackers call themselves the Impact Team. I think they've had an impact. They've leaked snippets of compromised data online and warned they would release customers' real names, profiles, nude photos. Why are there nude photos up there? To get a gig?
Because it's a dating site. You know, like, have you used the internet at all in the last 10 years?
Not for not for dating. What? So if you're out there,
Red Hot Pie is like that.
if you're out there looking for a
Adult Friend Finder and Red Hot Pie all got naked photos of people in the middle of doing stuff.
so like you try and entice a person but with a naked photo. Fair enough. Okay. So a credit card details and secret sexual fantasies, unless their demands were met. The hackers demanded the closure of other Avid Life media sites. Sugar Daddy site established men, but did not target the company's Cougar Life. So that's all right.
There's an ad for that on TV as well. I see that all the time
The
with
Cougar
this
Life.
guy's like dreaming about his teacher and then he ends up dating her and she's like 20 years older than him and stuff like that. That's an ad on TV as well as the Ashley Madisons.
Well, you'd see that, the little Impact Team. You could just visualise this in your head. They'd be all little, 12-year-old 12 going, yeah.
I'll high five them.
Yeah, get all these. Oh, don't go down Cougar Life. We might have some action with us there sometimes. And so shutting down Ashley Madison and EM, which is the established men, will cost you, but non-compliance will cost you more. So they want the site shut down. So
Speaking, this is kind of semi-related to adult sites. A friend of mine was on, got a wedding coming up and was on eBay looking for tights and miscellaneous things for the wedding. So she typed in skin tone tights into eBay, ebay.com.au, which, as we all know, is perfectly, friendly. And that's what came up. Now, I'll let you figure out exactly what they are. But apparently if you type in, skin-coloured tights into eBay, you get
wow.
something.
Interesting.
That's very interesting. Is that a
Those
sock?
blue ones are not skin coloured, surely.
Is that a sock?
Unless you're Avatar.
It's like a banana warmer or, something. I don't know.
All right.
It's where you keep your phone.
They look
or-
like they don't need a banana warmer, those ones.
No. Look, while we're talking about hacking, you also would have heard, because this one's been around as well, that the moving cars have been hacked.
It's a Jeep thing. You wouldn't understand.
I bought a Jeep.
You bought a Jeep.
Jeep.
I hacked a Jeep.
What colour?
A pair of veteran cybersecurity researchers have shown they can use the internet to turn off a car's engine as it drives. They
No,
can't.
a Jeep's engine. Don't get them confused with an actual car.
No, a Jeep.
Well, I don't have a picture of a Jeep. Will has.
There you go. I do.
Okay. Now, okay, so it's in a controlled test. They turned on the Jeep Cherokee's radio and activated other inessential features before rewriting code embedded in the entertainment system hardware to issue commands through the internal network to steering, brakes, and engine.
This is the problem with the Internet of Things that people are not thinking about. They're just like, let's put everything in everything and make it accessible from everywhere and then don't do any security checks.
And apparently, too, they made the car Wii as well. And it's
Gross.
probably there's anything to go by. But
They made it what? We?
nothing.
Now, there are hundreds of thousands of cars that are vulnerable on the road right now. Fiat Chrysler said it had issued a fix for the most serious vulnerability involved, so that's good. We've got to start plugging in our cars and updating them. So imagine that. Before you go, when you turn your computer on, like before the show tonight, we had, bloody updates. Every time you restart or whatever, I've got to install these updates. So every time you want to go to the shop, hang on, I've got updates.
Well, don't forget, Windows 10 is going to do forced updates. You can't even put it off anymore.
Yeah, right. But so is that going to potentially take your machine and shut it down and so forth while you're doing stuff? Or is it going to update in the background? No, it's just going to force the updates down. You can't say, no, I don't want this one, no, I don't want that one. And if you're a business, you can say no for up to a month, but then it's going to get installed. Because they find it difficult for programmers because you're like, okay, I want to make this application, but I don't know if half the computer's going to have X feature which has been enabled in Windows, and half of them do, so you could do something really cool, the other half don't. And then you have to say, if you buy my application, I downloaded, installed it, paid you $50 for it. Why is it not working? Well, because you didn't get the Windows update, which has blah, blah, blah features on it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't update my Windows. Well, one, your computer is now hackable because you didn't update it with all those security features. Two, you're missing out on the extra functionality that should be in there. So if all the Windows 10 are exactly the same, then you can program once and it's going to work on everything.
So you're in favour of forced updates?
Yep, I got no problem. I update my computer all the time. Never had a problem with it.
Yeah, no, I update it as soon as one comes in. Like if I go to shut it down and I see that there's an update there, yes, update. Why not?
I don't have a problem with.
The only people who are going to have a problem is Milo kind of people.
True.
It's going to take you 6 weeks just to do your Windows update if it's like a gig or something, which can often happen.
That sort of thing. And the other thing I have an issue with is hardware driver updates.
Yes, you do.
Let me do that. I don't care if it updates security vulnerabilities or programs. That's fine. But let me control my driver updates. The amount of times Windows has been responsible for breaking drivers.
But doesn't Windows even now won't auto update the drivers? That's in the not essential.
It's not supposed to.
But it's in the non-essential Windows updates.
Not if they're pushed out with a patch. Say they update a software, for example, and that software supports a new spectrum of drivers, then they push the driver out with it.
Right.
And codecs are another one. They'll update your codecs, for example.
We wouldn't have so much problem with installing updates that are quite large if only we had like a ubiquitous NBN or something similar where everybody would have faster internet. That would be
wouldn't you call it like, the National Broadband Network or something?
Sounds something futuristic.
Yeah.
And
Internet.
Look, here's my picture for the cars. Hang on. I knew I had a picture somewhere for hacked cars. There we go. All right.
Just quickly on that too. There's a reason that if you look, if you do a Google search for Google self-driving cars, 95% of them are Prius, and the reason is everything is completely electronically controlled. There is no, between what you do as a driver and the actual vehicle doing it, there's no manual connection. Everything's electronic. The accelerator, the brake, the steering, the whole lot. So that's why they're using them, because the computer has the ability to control them. Now, the Prius, especially the earlier ones, aren't internet connected, so it's not a problem because the only person that control it is the person sitting in the car. But then you get the new cars, the Mercedes and the Beamers and the Jeeps apparently, and even Mercedes last year got their cars were being hacked because they put Wi-Fi in the car, which on the surface seems like a great idea, right up to the point until they actually get hacked and cars get,
Don't use WAP in your cars.
Yeah, pretty much. So, WAP, really? Wow.
So, the driverless cars are coming to Adelaide as well. So, there's a first demonstration of autonomous vehicles on a closed-off Adelaide expressway will be held in November this year. So, if you're in Adelaide, go and have a look at those.
I'll close that
if you're in Adelaide
from my computer, then shall I?
If you're in Adelaide, go and film us some for the show, will you? Because we'd like to have that.
So Volvo has partnered with ARRB and the SA government to send an as-yet unspecified number of its new XC90 vehicles equipped with its autopilot system down the city's southern expressway. Under controlled conditions, the Volvos feature automatic braking, steering and parking via sensor-linked software, as well as fail-safe mode. Ooh, good.
That just means it stops in the middle of the road.
You're booting the safe mode like Windows, right?
Yeah.
No drivers, put them. Get it? Oh, that was a good one.
You got to shut the windows and reopen them.
Yes, now South Australian has already positioned itself as the nation's most popular and most vocal proponent of driverless vehicle technology, having flagged upcoming changes to the state's road rules. that have paved the way for autonomous cars on public roads.
Yeah, they're basing them on the Californian. I think the only other state that's done it from memory is California. So they're
Right.
basing on the Californian sort of concept of how they're going to handle that.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right.
Speaking of NBN,
Yes.
I got a letter I got a thing in the. I'm actually just checking my postcode as we speak. I got a letter in the letterbox, which doesn't happen often, but this one said, "You're now connected to the you're now able to be connected to the NBN." So I'm actually currently just putting it in to.
It stops like three houses away for you, doesn't it,
Well,
Will?
that's what I thought, but
Oh no! Don't tell me you've been going all crying your little eyes out.
it's never actually. Every time I've checked it, it's always said no, it's not in your street. So I'm literally just bringing it up right now. I haven't checked this.
Oh,
Well,
here
there we go. They've just changed it. They've just updated it in the last. I checked this on the weekend, and it was still.
So what does this mean? You're on the NBN.
Hey,
checked
no
this on
wonder
the
you're going
weekend.
so fast.
So according to this, wow, really?
Well, your
There
HFC
you go.
cable is just going to be NBN anyway, isn't it?
Exactly.
You
That's
don't
right.
get
So
any. It's going to be no change. It's just going to be called NBN.
they had to update the exchange, but it looks like they've finally done that because up until recently, it was basically this big U shape all the way around me. So
So now we know where you live.
yeah, it's not hard to find me. Hello, just ask me, and I'll tell you. I don't care.
Big Jam.
You can deal with me pregnant missus. It's not my problem.
And the dog. Don't forget the dog.
Please come. My address is.
Save
So,
me.
apparently Echo's. I just found out Eric's in the stream. So in the chat room.
What's he crying about?
So I'm going to ring up a few providers over the next week or so and find out who my best option is because Telstra
Nice.
won't. Be.
Yeah, well, hopefully, the HFC is coming, or the NBN will be on the HFC soon. Probably end of this year, start of next year, I hear. All right,
You won't see much difference, will you? Because you've
My
got
upload will.
HFC now, and they'll just call it NBN HFC. with the same
you'll get a
wire.
better
upload.
upload though. Your download probably won't change much, but
yeah,
Oh, they're going to do a bit of uncapping, are they?
maybe my Skype
Yeah.
won't cut out.
well, that's pretty much what they're going to do. They're basically
Yeah,
going to
sure.
they're basically just going to give you unlimited. You know, they're going to open the cable up a bit more. That's
I
pretty.
think
much
it's just Glenn. Every now and then he'll just,
Yeah, just
and we think that is it.
I do it, just do it. That's right.
so.
All right, Jay. So you got another story for us?
Aussie just stole my last one.
Oh, sorry.
Australia's biggest telco and wider telecommunications industry have lashed out at the federal government over plans to introduce new security laws that represent further legislative burden on the sector. Late last month, the Attorney General's Department released information on its proposed telecommunication security sector reforms. The laws aim to better protect telco infrastructure and systems from attack, while also giving the government power to intervene when a security risk is identified, which we all know is going to go really well. Telcos and internet service providers will be forced to hand over details of network changes and procurement plans or be hit with civil penalties of around $250,000 for non-compliance. The government drafted the proposal reforms due to concern about the threat posed by suppliers of equipment and managed services located in foreign countries. Damn foreigners. For telcos and ISPs, the cost of compliance is likely to be around $184,000 per organisation annually. Whether this is proportionate response is a question the Parliament will need to consider in consultation with the industry. The government has indicated the proposed legislation will not be used as a tool to prohibit specific equipment suppliers from operating in the Australian marketplace, highway, and this needs to be assured given the potential competition impacts of such a move and potential for overall network costs to be driven upward to the detriment of industry and consumers.
Now, yeah, so look, I just want to go through a chat room here because we've got people chatting away. If you want to join us in the chat room on the live recording of the show, it's aussietechheads.com.au/live, 7:30 Eastern Time, okay, on a Thursday.
Or ish.
Now, Bretto and _NT. If anyone is like me with a fixed wireless area and you are just outside of it, you need to ring NBN Co immediately and talk to them. They can get you added onto the system. If you are close to it, they will come and do a signal strength check. There you go. So if that's
They can check out Milo.
Yeah. Oh, I'm speaking of Milo. When you listen to us, renew your domain name. Great. That's expiring. See? There's help everywhere from ATH Web Hosting. It comes from everywhere.
don't know if any of these numbers mean anything. I've just actually noticed if you go to mynbn.info, there's a heap more detailed information that I didn't even know existed. It tells you what sort of NBN you're getting, how it's going to be, how many people are hooked up to it. Apparently, according to this, we're getting fibre. 100% rollout at fibre, apparently.
Nice. Look, I don't know. I don't really particularly care what it is, as long as I can get more than 2.5 up. I'm happy with 115 down. If I can squeeze 20 up, I'd be really happy.
So I don't know if these
especially
stats...
when you need to upload 500 meg shows to podcasting places and YouTube and stuff. That's what's the killer.
That's right. Yeah, I let it go overnight.
So
yeah, me too.
I'll let people look at this if they know any more than I do. I don't know how this site works, but apparently the way I read it, premises by technology, there's 7,600 premises on my exchange, and 100% of them are covered by fibre, apparently. So
how do you get 7,600 people on one exchange?
On this, whatever it's called, this area here, this B4DB, whatever interconnect thing is.
Well, first thing Monday, we'll go to your real estate agent and re-sign that lease.
Yeah, well, actually, it's ironic you mentioned that because we're like a month away from having to do that anyway. So now all I've got to do is get them to actually put a hot water system that lasts more than 11 seconds and we're set.
Oh, nice. It's not attached to your PC, is it?
Install a read.
Tell you what.
The water system's not attached to that PC of yours.
Well, it could be the water cooling. It's one of those hot water systems that they put in like single bedroom pensioner houses. And like by the time the water gets
you can watch the dog.
Yeah, pretty much. By the time the water gets from the other end of the house, across the length of the house, up the wall, halfway back across to the bathroom again.
Yeah.
There isn't really any.
But doesn't it heat the pipe up as it goes? Or is it still not hot enough?
The problem is it uses the length of the pipe is equivalent to the amount in the tank. And it's not like the...
Oh, right, I get where you're going. Yeah, right.
The hot water system's at one end of the house downstairs, and the pipe runs all the way up to the kitchen first, at the other end of the house, and then runs 3/4 way back along the length of the house again to the bathroom. So there's like 15 Ks of pipes to get to the bathroom. So by the time you turn the hot water on, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. Oh, it's starting to get warm. Okay, I'll start getting undressed.
Somebody quoted per metre for installation.
Yep, it's a little bit warmer. Okay, cool. I'll jump in. And now it's cold again.
Yeah, nice. Don't you love it? All right, have you got the... you give us a story, Will. You got anything?
Yeah, I've got a few stories here.
On the brew?
We're talking about privacy before, obviously, and, how, generally you think of the UK and they've had cameras in place for quite a while, so it's not sort of new to them, how they should handle privacy and things like that. The London Air, what the chopper, whatever they call it, was flying at, how far up was it? It was flying at 760 feet up, apparently. And whilst they're taking in the central London this morning, we spotted a celebrity, basically, so they decided to zoom in. Someone on their phone took a screen grab of the screen in the chopper and then threw it up on Twitter under the official account. About 3.5 milliseconds later, they decided that was a bad idea and pulled it down, by which case there was 47,000 responses already saying, must be grateful for showing in real time how data protection rules can be casually breached by the police, and photo of a feed from over 760 feet, pretty scary what they can see, and all this sort of stuff. They accidentally deleted their creepy validation of public fear about unambiguous surveillance. Did you seek individual consent? So, yeah, well done, guys. You're on the ball with the...
Where was this at?
That one.
In the US?
It was in London. But
okay.
It just goes to show that chopper was 750 feet up in the air, which is, so 3/4 of a K.
Yeah, that's a fair way.
Up in the air.
Now, did you...
divide that by 3 for meters. So it's 300 meters up in the air, and this thing can take a photo of, somebody at such a high resolution as perfectly recognisable.
Now, the other story that was in the media this week about choppers was the
chopper read.
Not hey.
Chopper Reed.
Yeah, why is he in the media again? Is he?
Now you're telling the story.
Yeah, so I think this is over in the US where I think there were some helicopters trying to fly over a fire or something and put it out, but they couldn't get there because there's these little drones flying around. So that's caused a bit of a debate about, well, what are they going to do? They can't have drones flying around when there's life and death at stake.
Fly through the drones and chop them up.
Yeah, well, that's what I reckon. But they obviously they can't.
The problem is you can't, because if you get one of those things stuck
that's right.
But yeah,
but then they go on and talk about, well, maybe they just need like a button that the fire brigade or whatever can push, and then it just sends out a blanket.
Disables them and they all go...
Yeah, and you go, oh, look out, fall!
That wouldn't be hard, would it?
Well, that's a silly idea as well. I don't know. But they've got like altitude limiters on them as well, some of them. But they reckon the homemade ones don't.
No, they're not allowed to fly more than X amount from the actual person who's controlling it.
Eventually they'll run out of range anyway.
When you're talking about choppers, I thought you were talking about Bronwyn Bishop.
No.
all the things getting around now.
Get the chopper!
Bronwyn Bishop walking her dog and...
Did you see that one
where she's saying get to the chopper?
Yeah, that's funny, that one.
Yeah.
But did you see there was another one with it was like something out of a movie scene. There's about 30 choppers. They're all just going crazy, like just going in this direction, and it just build the Bishop family reunion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was on the other day. I saw that. That was really
was funny.
I like
the ferry one up there too above that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, catches the ferry to Manly
for the day. Hey, catches the ferry to Manly
for the day.
Well, nice.
She's taking the bus.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let's.
So I mean, I have to admit, this is probably one of the most fun weeks I've had on Facebook this week.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's pretty funny. It is pretty funny. You got to laugh at it. Oh, he looks a bit surprised. Okay, let's move on. Kogan USB charger may electrocute. Another one of these little fellas. So the products have been recalled immediately. So if you've got one, you better check your serial number. I'll tell you what it is. Well, it's in the show notes. But it's the 2.1 amp USB charger, model number KAUSBXXADPC. Now,
actually, weren't we talking about these dodgy chargers the other day? Was it on... Well, it was last week's show, wasn't it? We're talking about how you actually have a legit phone wall lock, a legit charger, Apple charger, and it still manages to catch on fire.
Yeah, right.
Well, not that Glenn obviously listens to his own show, but
No, I haven't.
Not when the top two podcasters of Australia are on.
Yeah, I know you're pretty jealous. You sort of don't want to.
Characters.
Yeah.
I was too overwhelmed. I only got halfway through. I was
too exciting.
I can't do it in one day, in one sitting. I got to break it up. You guys, it's so good. Now, the affected units were sold between 5th of November last year to 26th of June this year. So if you've got one of those, check it out and send it back, for goodness sake. Otherwise, you'll burn your afro.
Or just keep using it and have the one in like 100,000 chance that they call high risk of it actually being a problem.
Yeah, you could do that.
And you've got insurance, so new everything in the house, right? New house, new TV, new fridge.
Just don't lick it.
That's right.
Or do. I mean,
Don't lick it.
Apple's the one with the lickable interface.
Now, I
always thought it was, not living in Queensland, sort of wearing gloves is something you don't think about. And went down to the snow a couple of weeks ago, went snow chasing because we could, and I had gloves on, and my phone rang. I'm like, I'll just answer. How do I? So I got my nose, and I'm like, and then I found out that it didn't work because when your nose is cold, there's no moisture, and it doesn't trigger. So I had to use my tongue. I actually had to use my tongue on my phone to answer it.
Well, there was something else you could have got out, Will.
That was too cold for that. No way I could have even come close to it. I couldn't find my hands, let alone anything else.
Your nipples.
Well, actually, there's a thought.
That would have worked.
I could have just sat in the driver's seat.
You set your phone to one of those answer as soon as you pick it up and put it near your head. It detects it with a proximity sensor. Right?
Yeah, the problem is it also detects it when you put your hand near it. So if you try to hang the phone up, you actually answer it.
No, I didn't want it. Oh, now I've got to talk to my mother-in-law. Damn it.
That's it.
Damn it. I picked it up. I hate when you put your hand in your pocket and you don't really want to answer it because you're busy doing something, but you put your hand in your pocket to put it on silent and you accidentally
answer it.
You go, don't!
Oh, hang on. Did I put it on
hello.
silent or did I answer it? I better just take it. Oh, I answered. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you? Now, look, just as a bit of interest, this is very quick. The 6 best-selling PC brands of last quarter, just for interest's sake only. Number 5, Asus was a tie. Asus and Acer.
Asus.
Number 4, or Asus. Number 4, Apple. Number 3, Dell. Number 2, HP. Number 1, Lenovo. I love the Lenovo laptops. I got one. They're beautiful. All right.
Still decent quality. Speaking of going places, where did you go the other night? That nobody knew about until it mysteriously appeared.
Yeah, I only found out yesterday morning, and I got this email saying, "Oh, you're invited," and I went, "Okay, cool." But I went to the Cynics Roadshow, which is like an industry event, and I thought I sort of ummed and ahed about going because it was in Brizzy, and it was about an hour away on the train or whatever, so I ummed and ahed. But I did go, and there wasn't that much new sort of stuff going on there. You have a look at a few motherboards and you go, "Oh yeah, that's nice," and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was quite interesting. I got a few cards, and so I might give a couple of people a ring and see if we can get some videos of some of their products. And
they kept it awfully quiet this year.
They have the last couple, Will.
And I didn't even get the email, is she?
No, well, I think what's happened is you have to be an account. You have to have an account. And I know I'd missed out because I didn't have an account the last couple of years, but I have got one again now.
I had an account, but it's probably because I haven't ordered anything for 12 months. They probably shut it.
Yeah, but unfortunately for them, that you can buy just as cheap from Umart. But not that they care because they sell to Umart. But anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
but anyway, moving off that, Jace, did you have any more? Anything else?
Yeah, interesting one. Apple has been granted a patent for an e-commerce system that would track the status of a smartphone user's credit card balance to target advertising based on what you could realistically afford.
Ooh.
In its application granted last week, Apple said the tie-in with the user's credit card balance would be much more targeted and relevant than traditional mobile advertising. Ooh. Apple's proposed mobile advertising system and opt-in service would only deliver ads for products that have a purchase price less or equal to the available credit for that user. This would be appropriate when presenting, for example, items offered by an online shop which can be ordered immediately. The items that the person can currently afford, that is, they have available current credit in an amount greater than the purchase of each item, may be marked with a marker, while those the user cannot afford would not be so marked. An example of a pizza company advertising its product through a proposed platform. An advertisement provided by an advertiser may be, "We offer pizza A for $4, pizza B for $6, pizza C for $8. Click on the pizza to order now." In accordance with the invention, the advertisement being delivered to the users would be different depending on the available credit for each user.
Price hike.
Thus, when the advertisement is delivered to users having at least $6 but less than $8 available credit, the advertisement would be followed. "We offer pizza A and B. For A for $4 and B for $6, click the pizza order now." Pizza C would not be included because they don't have any money for it. When the user clicks on the advertisement, a premium SMS is sent and a pizza store with a delivery service is informed about the address of the user and about the order. Apple said the seller would be paid via the system with money from the user's linked account. Other options were to have the system linked with PayPal-type service or to set up monthly debit.
Oh, I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I think that's a terrible idea. I don't like that idea. Do you like that idea?
I think it's incredibly dangerous, actually.
I think it'd be interesting that they would see that you've got $8 in there, so you don't ever get notified about the cheaper ones, and just go, "Well, we'll just sell you the expensive ones and won't even tell you we got cheaper ones, so you'll buy premium stuff from us all the time."
So that's interesting because I actually have like my Google account is separate from my normal account, for example. So if it was in Google, it would only see, I don't know, $10 or whatever I leave in that account for app purchases and stuff.
This guy's poor.
Yeah, but what about you walking into the shop or whatever, and this data somehow is scraped and got in the evil hands or whatever, and then you go, "Oh, this guy, you put a transaction through or a ping the credit card and go, okay, I wonder if he can afford this $20,000 ring or something," and he comes back and says, "You beauty," and then you go, "Oh, where does he live? He must be earning something. Okay, we'll go and knock him off." That could be.
Well, it reminds you of the travel websites where they would detect if you're connected to the website using a MacBook Pro and only show you the more expensive hotels and
nice.
plane trips because they're like, oh, this is a premium person. They paid a lot of money for their computer. So
Yeah, nice.
therefore we won't show them any of the cheaper ones and they won't even know they're available to purchase. So they'll just buy the more expensive ones.
Oh, look out, Eric. That's what's happening. Don't book on your MacBook Pro. Oh,
Yep.
nasty, nasty. Now,
Reboot into Windows just for that or run a VM.
yes. Now, speaking of VMs, as I was looking for stories for this week's show, I come across this story. I didn't include it because I thought it's got really nothing to do with us, so bugger it. But it was about the BBC iPlayer, how it's watched by more than 60 million people outside the UK for free. So as you know, in the UK, they pay for their licence, like how many TVs, a TV licence, which pays for the BBC. So iView in England is free. But if you're outside England, you're not paying the licence, so they want to charge you. Fair enough. So now I'm thinking, okay, now it's BBC's turn to get upset about all this VPN business. They're getting on the bandwagon as well. So this is from the BBC website. So I go, yeah, nah, I can't be bothered with that story, blah blah blah. So I kept looking through the BBC website because sometimes they have good stories. So I kept looking through the website and come across this one from the BBC: how to set up your own VPN. and then it had a list of how to do it, and I thought, crazy. Crazy. I don't understand. But isn't that just ridiculous? 1 minute they got one hand crying about it, the other hand telling people how to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, as opposed to Netflix, it just has it on their website anyway.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, on their forums or whatever it is. You can.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's also that Netflix tax. That looks like, as we were talking about the overseas purchases for 100,000 going to attract maybe going to attract the GST. Apparently, there's also the other rule, which is the Netflix tax, so-called Netflix tax rule, which is it doesn't matter. It's obviously under $1,000, but it's going to be a tax on online streaming services. But anyway, okay. What else, Will? Have you got any Android
Yeah, I got
stories?
a few quick ones. Just quickly. YouTube, the app for your phone now.
Android?
Traditionally when you were watching a portrait video, which on its own, it's grounds for being shot. But if you're watching a portrait video, it would give you the ugly black bars down both sides. And
Yeah.
YouTube's, for a while, had an animation on the screen to tell you to turn your phone to watch it full screen. And they're like, nah, screw it. So now, when you watch a portrait video on the app, it just forces it to full screen portrait, so you forces you to turn your phone.
All right. Nice. Nice.
So, yeah, solves that problem. Quickly, too, this is just... I had to have this story because I just couldn't believe it. People around the world have been emailing trees in Melbourne.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever been captivated by a tree glistening in the sun that you've felt in awe? If you answered yes to this question, you've probably been struggling to come to terms with your peculiar hankering for horticulture. But no longer do you need to keep your feelings bottled up as there's a way to let the tree know how much you care. Well, in Melbourne. Nice. As part of the urban forestry strategy implemented to combat the steady decline of trees following a drought, the city assigned all of Melbourne's 77,000 trees individual emails. The idea was residents could use these emails to report trees that had been vandalised or in severe state of decline. Only people decided to make another use for the email and began writing love letters for their favourite trees. The chair of Melbourne's Environment Portfolio, Aaron Wood, said the response was unexpected but welcome. It's unbelievable. We've now received over 3,000 emails from all around the world. There have been people from Russia, Germany, Hungary, Singapore, Britain, Hong Kong, all confessing their loves for the trees of Melbourne.
That's nice.
In order to spread the love, Mr. Woods has shared some of the love letters.
Mr. Woods.
Yeah, I know, right? It only took 3 readings of that before you figured it out.
So, but look, what I'm going to bring in, I've taken that on board, that story. Now, why not sign up to athwebhosting.com.au and buy a domain for a tree? Hey?
Yeah.
Do that. Then personalise the email. Yes. Nice. I'll leave it with
So
you.
And it's
I'll give you a
environmentally
quick-
friendly, right, Glenn?
Yes.
I'll give you a couple of these emails
I
that
have to
quickly
inform
been
Mr.
done.
Woods.
There's a golden elm, tree ID 1028612. So basically what you do is you can email it to tree, in this case 103748 at Melbourne City Council or something, and sends it to that particular address. But there's things like, where are we? Let's see. Are you and your fellow English elms enjoying the Ashes series as much as we are in England, or are you giving the native Aussie trees some sick over the team's performance? So that was to an English elm in the garden somewhere. So, yeah, it's interesting concept, to say the least. Although, I mean, whatever brings in publicity, I suppose.
Yeah, well, mate, that's right. Jace, have you got any more loveliness, tree-hugging stories or others?
Well, I've got another Apple one. I'll keep Eric happy anyway. Apple has released a public beta of its latest operating system for the Mac, El Capitan. While Apple is touting speed improvements and new search features, it's a feature under the hood that has caught the eye of developers and system administrators. Security Integrity Protection is a new feature of OS X that aims to protect users from malicious code infecting the operating system. In recent years, Apple has moved to tighten security on the Mac, implementing some of the features proven to be successful on iOS. Back in 2012, Apple began enforcing sandboxing on all Mac App Store applications. Sandboxing refers to the boundary placed around an app and its executable code. Sandboxed applications run in their own little environment, protected from other applications, accessing only parts of the system Apple has allowed. On iOS, all apps are sandboxed and always have been. On the Mac, only App Store applications are sandboxed, but the vast majority of Mac applications do not come from the Apple Mac Store. Applications such as Microsoft Office and Adobe's Creative Cloud sit outside Apple's sandbox environment. Security Integrity Protection is a way of tightening the security around these applications. Software developers are now blocked from editing or writing to certain protected files and folders within OS X, or from executing code that tinkers with the system. Mark Edwards of Bojangles Software is one such developer. We had to make some changes to get iStat menus working again, he admits. iStat menus is a popular system monitoring app for the Mac that until now has relied on accessing system files. Django is already a working beta of iStat menus that plays nice under Apple's new rules, but not all developers will be able to work under El Capitan's restrictions. Still, Edwards understands the reason behind SIP. System integrity protection is a great idea and it should help make our Macs a bit safer from malicious code, but at the same time it's also another step towards not being able to control what runs on your computer. Heightened security always comes at a cost. I'm worried about OS X becoming more like iOS, only one source to install stuff, everything really tightly sandboxed.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's probably pretty good if they can get it to work like that. That's probably good. But
they can make it really secure by not installing Adobe Flash or Java. There you go.
Yeah. Well, they reckon that Flash is really now on its way out. I think it's starting. It gets vulnerability after vulnerability, doesn't it? And
one of my friends is a CEO of a company over in San Francisco, and he was in the Wall Street Journal this week because he used to work at Adobe on mobile Flash, and he's like, we need to get this thing locked down, running really fast and smooth without all the bloat, and running on iOS, because iOS, these iPhones that have just come out, are going to take the world by storm. And Adobe's like, no, we're not going to worry about this stupid iOS thing. We're not going to support it.
We're bigger than that. Bang. And Steve Jobs said, guess what, fellas? I don't like Flash.
He said, screw you, hippies.
Screw you, Flash, you go hand.
Yeah, but I mean, Chrome does support it, but you got to enable it. By default, it hasn't supported it for ages.
But how's you would have noticed the Firefox browser has been blocking Flash.
Yeah, they've started doing it too.
Yes.
They all have now. Internet Explorer.
And it won't run on Microsoft Edge until they program some extra plug-in functionality, but they won't. I don't think they'll allow Flash.
It's dead. Now, when is Windows 10 coming out? It's the 29th, is that right?
Yep.
So that'll be just a day after, the day before our next show. All right. Well, let's see if we can install the whatever you call it, the retail version or the downloaded upgrade official version by then, and see how it all runs. So not long to wait now. I'm excited. Look, I've got a last little story from me. It's a story about the Commodore computer. Now, we all know what a Commodore computer is, don't we? But the Commodore has returned.
This isn't the story we did last week, is it?
Oh, probably.
Is it the phone?
Is it the phone?
Okay. It's returned twice. I'll just show you a picture then. There you go.
I think this week is actually the anniversary of Commodore from when it was launched like 35 years ago or something.
Yeah. I tell you what, if I had the money, I'd definitely buy it. The specs are really good. if nothing else, and you're after a high-end, relatively cheap phone, it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, it looks all right, doesn't it? But well, we won't carry on with that again. If you guys, I apologise, I haven't listened to that show in full. I have started, but not in
Pretty
full.
obvious now, isn't it?
Yes.
Into a
Two
hole.
mistakes.
Given that it was like the second story.
Well, this is why I'm not the best podcaster in the world. Okay, this is why I can't.
No, it happens to the best of us. Don't worry.
I can only aspire to that level of the height of that podcasting fame. All right, now have you got any final words, Will? Final stories? Anything?
Yeah, a couple of quick ones. Just something that people may. Obviously it's up to you if you want to use one, but if you are looking for a keyboard, full-size keyboard for your iPhone or Android or tablet or whatever, these Zag keyboards, they're Bluetooth, incredibly responsive, designed to hold smaller phones. The cradle's set up right, it holds at the right angle, that sort of stuff. We've now got a couple of these at work. A decent size. When they're folded, they're only 5.5 centimeters wide and 1.5 thick, but they're basically an 85% full-size keyboard once they're actually out and open and ready to go. They're really good. Haven't had any pairing problems or anything like that. They're $100. They're expensive, but we've used them on. We got for our point-of-sale software at work. That only runs on iPads. Or web browsers, and ironically, it runs in the web browsers better than the iPad app. Go figure. But so we've got we got about 4 of them now, and yeah, they're fine. We get probably a good solid 2 weeks out of the batteries before we got to charge them and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you're after one there are a few others that are around, but we found the cheaper ones, they wouldn't always pair, or they'd drop out halfway through, or they'd be key lag or something. But yeah, this seems to work for us.
Yeah, that's all right.
Not paid or anything like that. Just something that I've found useful. Also, just quickly too, emoji.
Yes.
So yeah, so this week is I can't remember what it is, anniversary of emoji. Can't remember the exact date. That's actually not in this story because that story wasn't about that.
It was its birthday or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. 15 years or 20 years or something.
Was it that long? I thought it was only about 10.
It's been a while. No, it'd be long more than that, wouldn't it?
Emoji.
I'll have to look it up now.
Birthday. Yeah, let's have a look.
But they're basically making a movie now, apparently.
Oh, jeez.
They're making an emoji movie, which will be interesting. So, obviously, they've done, they can pull it off. They pulled off a Lego movie. They've got the Minions. So, all they need to do is combine the Minions and Lego with some Smurfs, and they should be good.
The first emoji was created in 1998 or 1999 by Shigetaka Kurita, who was part of the team working on NTT
15.
Docomo's iMode mobile internet platform.
15 years, yeah.
So, so there you go. 15 years. So, the ensemble, so basically, they could be picked up by probably Warner Brothers or Paramount. There is a planned project in the works about things like that. It could actually be quite intense. There's 93 actual icons that we know. There's 15 families of groups of 4 and 10 pairs.
Yeah.
And 7 cats, apparently.
But there's just more. Every time I turn my phone on, there's more. I can't keep up with them all. And
well, there's official emojis, then there's the other ones as well.
Right.
But so apparently they're Beyonce and Jay-Z's "Drunk in Love" uses emojis quite heavily in their film clips. So apparently they're slowly feeding it to us in large quantities to see what we think of it. It's not completely out of the question. I'll show you this picture that they've. Where is it? Hang on, let me find this. See if I can swap screens. It's not a real good picture, but there's masks available now.
Oh no!
These were seen.
The girl with the beer looks surprised.
These were seen at the Hong Kong Sevens rugby match on March 28th. So.
Look, that would be funny.
They're prepping us.
That would be funny. A whole crowd at a footy ground with emoji faces, wouldn't it? That would be hilarious.
Especially if they're like the animated ones.
Oh, that's hilarious. Now, look,
Make it with a little LED screen.
I know the chief of the NRL listens to this show every week religiously. Why don't you have a week? You know how you get the superhero weekend at the games? Have an emoji weekend. That'd be funny. That'd be great. I reckon you should do that. And all the little smile. Oh,
All the Japanese would turn up.
Half the crowd on the try scoring side, little happy faces, and the other half little sad faces.
You flip it over depending on how your team's doing.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be quite funny. That'd be quite good. Yeah, that's good, Will. Very funny.
Yeah, it's just a quick little thing.
Yeah. Have you got any more?
I do, but how are we going for time?
Talking about before, it was the Amiga's 30th birthday coming up this weekend.
Right.
Okay.
So an event celebrating Amiga's 30th birthday is gearing up to show off rare prototype versions of Commodore's iconic computer over the weekend. Hosted at Silicon Valley's Computer History Museum, the Amiga is 30 exhibition will feature the Ranger Commodore West follow-on to the A1000 alongside Amiga Lorraine prototype wire-wrap boards. Commodore released 3 generations of Amiga systems, including the popular Amiga 500 in 1987, before the company's demise in 1994. The A1000, which was launched in 1985, was hailed for its multitasking capabilities and became popular with anyone from gamers to graphic artists, animators, musicians, and writers. Taking place on July 25 and 26, the Amiga is 30 exhibition, which is open to the public, is set to take Amiga fans on a trip down memory lane, featuring collections of Commodore, Apple, and Atari products and a game zone. It would also play host to speakers from Amiga's gamut of history.
I had an Atari ST.
Did you? What did you think of that? They're pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Yeah, I thought it was quite good. I bought a 1200 board modem for it. And I was into those bulletin boards like no tomorrow. Yeah,
never actually knew anyone with Atari. Everyone I knew had Amigas.
Yeah, look, a lot of people did have Amigas. I knew people with Amstrads.
I nearly got a Amstrad, but I only knew one kid at school with an Amstrad, and I knew half a dozen people with Commodore 64s, so I could get a lot of games and stuff.
That was exactly my my purchasing processing when I was buying them back then. Yeah, I thought, well, I know all these people with the Atari ST. I got a software available everywhere, so that's where I'm going. And the
lucky Bill Gates didn't turn up. You heard what happened when he went to a computer meeting.
Didn't they hate
everyone
him?
was copying DOS, and he got really pissed off with them.
Oh well, bad luck for him.
Yeah, because it was so hard to copy that.
Yes. Yeah, well, you didn't have to just copy it. Well, there was other versions. There's DR DOS and PC DOS. Like, you didn't really have to copy MS DOS. Like, you could get DOS if you wanted.
Dr. DOS.
Dr. DOS. You know, it was never called Dr. DOS.
No.
It was always DR DOS.
But Dr. DOS sounds... It's like Dr...
Who?
Yeah.
What was that other one? Was it... No, what was the Nintendo one? Dr. Mario... Not Mario.
Dr. Dude.
The one that had the
Mr.
little
Dude.
robot dude that used to...
I wouldn't.
On the Nintendo.
Don't know.
Can't think. You had a target because obviously for the Nintendo, back in the day, you had the laser gun for duck hunt. But you had this little robot dude that you could use for target practice.
Right.
And
I don't know. Will.
He was really advanced actually at the time. He could actually sit beside the TV. You could put the second player remote. Whoops, there goes the mic stand. Put the second player remote in his little claws. And when you're playing a game that required 2 players, say for example for them to open the doors or something, when you got to that point, he would actually physically press that button on the remote and trigger the remote so that door opened so you could get through.
It wasn't Rob. Was it?
I can't remember. I should look up.
Robotic operating buddy from the NES.
Yeah.
Hey?
Was it Rob?
Robotic operating buddy from NES, ROB.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he looked all right. He looked like number 5. Doesn't
and
he?
then they had little...
Or Wally.
Had this little target practice things as well that he would spit out and you'd shoot him with the laser gun and they'd go dead.
Yeah, right.
You got to think that's in mid-80s. That's like
cool.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start wrapping up. Did you have any more, Jace? Jace, did I log off? Yeah. Okay. Go. Tell me some more.
What?
What?
Well done.
Yeah, are we done? Can't you hear me? Yep. Have I dropped off?
You did for a minute, but it's okay. We just improvised.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just saying.
It was hilarious. You'll have to listen to the show so you know what we said.
I was just saying, if you got any more, now's the time to tell us.
Oh, one thing I will mention,
Yeah.
like, I've just got the rollout Lollipop update on my Note 3. And the one thing that drives me nuts is for some bizarre reason, they've changed the GPS button to location button.
Right.
It's so annoying because it didn't click initially. It was when I was turning my GPS on for my phone, like when I'm driving and stuff, it said GPS not enabled. I'm like, oh, you go into settings, go into GPS settings. Where's the thing for What? And then it took me a few seconds to figure out, hang on, location. So you turn that on, and it goes, oh, GPS found. It's like, well, yeah, but location isn't GPS. They're two different things. Why are you calling them as that name?
Android.
So that kind of bugs me, but rant over.
Android. Yeah, Android. All right. Let's facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, YouTube.
Yeah, sure.
YouTube.com/Aussie Tech Heads. That's right. And the Aussie Tech Radio. All this show, the whole hour of it, and
Obsidian
more.
Loft. Old fart geeks.
And yes, there should be another episode of that old fart. You tell me next time you're doing it, and I'll see. Look, maybe after I move, I get in a bit of a situation, but I'll tell you about
Did your fart lead you to a sticky situation?
where I might be in a bit of a situation where I might not be able to do the show for a couple of weeks.
That's okay. The world best podcasters have got you covered.
Yes.
Well, that's okay. No one will miss you.
But hang on. No, hang on, because Jeremy from Velvet Systems might have put me on the right track. He gave me something last night, and I might be able to use that. It was a little 4G dongle thing. So, yeah.
You know how much data that uses, right?
Yeah, but it had I think it was unlimited for 90 days. I'm in. I'm in. I will be on.
Actually, there's something I should mention too. I noticed Vodafone has been spruiking on their prepaid. You get unlimited data on the weekends.
Right.
So if you're in a Vodafone coverage area, and you there might be worth looking into. Unfortunately, Milo's not. He's in a Vodafone black spot. I've already been this through him, but
he's in everything black
you've
spot.
got unlimited data on weekends with the prepaid. So yeah, it might be something to look into.
Yeah. Okay. I know
and
Milo.
Optus has got rollover data now for prepaid.
It's
It's interesting.
That's a lot of papers. Right.
1 week. 1 week.
1 week. I've lost it.
Get it right.
Again, I can only aspire. Now look, let's get out of here.
Perspire.
Yeah, well,
Acer Aspire.
this jumper I got on, I ain't getting pretty hot in here. I have to open a window.
This water cooling's great. It's just like a heater sitting beside me. It's fantastic.
All right, so AussieTechRadio.com, don't forget that. It's 24/7, wall-to-wall, Aussie tech shows and a couple of New Zealand shows thrown in for the good mix. Tech Webcast, the Alpha Geeks, the Obsidian Loft, and a few others, Two Guys Talking Tech and Geeksphere TV, everything. There's whole thing there. If you've got a podcast and you want to put it in the radio lineup, you know what to do. Give me an email, glenn@aussietechheads.com.au. You can talk to Will, Jace, Eric, or Shane. Do you remember Shane? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so
Shane, you still there? Hello.
You can
He's in the chat room.
you can email us at whoever we are at aussietechheads.com.au. So I think that's all we've got for this week. So thanks for coming in, Will. Thanks for showing us the interior of your TARDIS there behind you.
Well, I can show you the interior of my real life TARDIS too, if you want. There you go.
All those drapes.
It's me. Hi, me.
Where's me? Oh, yeah, a little bit. There
You're very pale.
I'm on a different
Get out
camera.
in the sun there, Glenn. You got no head.
Oh, no. And
You're
Jace,
turning goth.
thanks for coming in, Jace. It's been a pleasure yet again.
Thanks for watching Bullseye.
And thanks for everyone in the lounge.
Bravo.
You guys,
Been nuts in the chat room, guys. Thanks a lot.
yeah, I think Eric stirred him up a bit. Eric came in
good at that.
through the
I shouldn't
show.
have
That's
made
what
it
Eric's the best at.
He's our little. Look at who's that doing with all the things? Bullseye. He's to go
Bullseye,
crazy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. If you want to catch us live, you can Thursday night 7:30 p.m. AussieTechers.com.au/live. Be there or be square. Until next week, it's bye for now. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers.
See you guys.